Most people will think of rave, they'll think of Manchester, they'll think of a hacienda, maybe Spike Island or London, Paris, yeah, maybe Amsterdam, but not Blackburn. Could you just take us back to Blackburn? What was happening there in the 1980s?
Yeah, so I mean, it's really interesting what you say there about kind of people would automatically think about Manchester, which, I mean, even as someone growing up in Blackburn, that was very much my experience. I was born in 1993, so after this stuff happens, and kind of grew up, as you were getting to music, you would hear from people about the Blackburn raves that went on, even though my parents definitely did not participate in them. They were aware of this thing that had happened. It was hard to live in sort of the community without being aware of this huge disturbance involving, up to 10,000 people happening every weekend. But I think because of the way that the history books have been written, all through my teens and early 20s, I was like, well, if it happened in Blackburn, it probably happened everywhere, and it's probably not that interesting because all I've ever heard anyone going about is how rave culture started, in Manchester and London. And as I kind of got slightly older, I started researching and looking more into it and kind of taking the Blackburn claims more seriously. And yeah, ended up doing a couple of years of different bits of work around Blackburn. So Blackburn is a kind of textile and cotton mill town. Kind of importantly for this conversation, I guess, is that we're talking about Thatcherism, the context of the 1980s. Blackburn had a little bit of a head start on that stuff because it was already going through quite severe decline as the 60s turned into the 70s. So kind of a lot of the job losses, feeling of hopelessness, and just the physical space of large empty mills that is brought about by the closure of these kind of industries. Blackburn already has all of that in play, whereas a lot of the rest of the country would take, the monetarist policies of Margaret Thatcher to bring that kind of stuff about.